Wow, guys. It kind of feels like we can't be distracted, or we're not even able to run away from what we have to face. It's been such dense energies in the collective that I've been literally doing jigsaw puzzles and listening to audiobooks to stay in my peace. If I go to a store, I'll only go to one store and then come right home, because I just don't even want to be in the mix of the soup of dense energies that everybody's experiencing right now. It's really, really wild. It's like a lot of deep breathing for me, because it's just anxiety. And I know I don't label that as me. I know that it's just something I experience as being a sensitive person. And a lot of you understand that. But it's so important to differentiate what you're feeling from like who you are or what's going on, because it's really only trying to show you something. It's really the biggest, greatest gift ever if you can see things for what they are. If it's part of your cycle, it's absolutely trying to show you something. If it's somebody else, it's still the same lesson. How are you going to respond? Are you going to immediately jump into this projection? I feel this way, and this is and it's in a sense of victim mode. So I'm going to blame it on the world, blame it on my boss, blame it on my spouse, blame it on my parents, blame it on what's going on in the world right now, politically, economically. I mean, the list goes on. We can blame whoever we want to blame, but at the end of the day, that's projection. That's our refusal to find peace. That's our refusal to choose to perceive any situation in any given way. We are so attached to the way we want to see things, to the way we've always seen things. We have these patterns. I've always looked at it this way. It doesn't even feel right to look at it from a different perspective. So I'm going to lash out on whoever or whatever is making me uncomfortable in order to see the situation in a different way. It's actually a gift from the universe saying, hey, look at it this way instead. Or you can respond the same old way, project the same old way, and get the same old results, because that energy that you're putting out is a direct result of what comes back to you. So if you don't like what you're getting, stop doing the same old shit. Start doing things a little bit differently and see what else can happen for you. See how the universe can work for you, because it's all energy. The energy that you put out is absolutely what is going to come back to you. So if you don't feel loved by somebody, then you better start loving on people. Don't go crawl in the corner and be a victim and say nobody loves me. That's just choosing the same old victim mode. That's putting energy of victim mode out there. So you will continue to manifest the same old cycle of victim mode, even if you leave your partner, because you're blaming your partner for the way you feel because they don't see you in that relationship. You will manifest another relationship or another situation with another individual, even if it's a friendship, that makes you feel abandoned or like a victim or like you aren't loved. And it's going to make you want to go curl up in a ball in the corner and feel like a victim, instead of empowering yourself and looking for that love inside of yourself, spending some time alone and actually enjoying that more than spending time with others, because you fulfill yourself to that degree. You're in touch with that creative side of yourself. But how can you even get there if you're so distracted by the external world? So distracted by the matrix, so distracted by drama in your family or relationships or at work or what's going on in the world, that you can't even sit with yourself long enough to clear your mind of those things, to have a creative idea. Everybody wants this business and all that for themselves, so they don't have to work in the matrix. Well, if you're still dealing with all this drama in your life, how are you going to find the creative space in your mind or create that space in your mind if you got it full of bullshit that doesn't even matter? It's basically you just running in cycles, projecting and manifesting the same perception in the same situations until you choose to make a change. It's not that the opportunities aren't there. You're choosing not to see them. And then you're distracted by your own limitations. Most people argue for their own limitations. I'm such an optimistic person. If I meet somebody and they start telling me their interests or something, I'll start shooting ideas at them because I'm always coming up with creative ideas. That's just the way my mind kind of operates. And they'll immediately tell me the reasons why they can't do it, which is exactly why they aren't going to do it. Because they're arguing for their own limitations. Instead of sitting here and saying, how could I make this happen? What are like 12 different avenues that I could possibly make a business happen? Instead, they're giving me 12 different avenues of why they couldn't. On top of being distracted by everything in the external. Because they don't have peace in the relationships. They don't have peace in their life, period. Not at work, not in the relationships, not just about the way they feel about the world. You can't wait for the world to change to have peace or to feel like you can create this beautiful reality for yourself. If you go down with the world, it's because you chose to. We really have to get quiet and dig deep and stop blaming other people or situations for the way that we feel. We always have a choice to perceive something differently. First, it takes the choice to look at something differently. Here's a good example. Okay, so 2 different people online have 2 different political perspectives. One person posts something that the other person disagrees with. So instead of just scrolling by and maintaining your peace, the petty in the one individual insists on letting them know why they think that they're wrong. Right? And so like when we do these things, it's like not finding peace. It's like giving your power away to some drama. Because at the end of the day, that person is going to feel some type of way about it, right? That's energy. You're creating that energy because you just interacted with this person. So now you're exchanging energy with them. Whether you're standing in front of their face or not, or sitting behind a computer screen, that is exactly what's happening. So now they're throwing you some shitty energy. Congratulations, you just manifested that for yourself and you probably didn't even know it. And that's the problem. People don't understand how every little thought, every little action, every little thing is energy. And and we have to sit there and think to ourselves, is this divine? Is this of the highest good? It's like those old WWJD bracelets. What would Jesus do? Those things actually psychologically were a great idea. Because if you think about Jesus Christ, he was emanating the Christ consciousness, right? The highest vibrational frequency of unconditional love. So if you think, what would the highest vibrational frequency of unconditional love do or say? Would they write the petty mark on the political comment? Would it project on somebody else because you feel a certain way inside of your body, regardless of what they say to you? It's like, how do you maintain your peace? Because when you blame somebody else for the way you act, it's so, to me, it's so childish. And I'm not saying that I'm exempt from that because we all do it. We've all been there. But it's childish in the sense of like on the spiritual journey. It's like the beginning stages of our journey when we're like not even to the place where our mind's clear enough to create. We're still dealing with all the cycles and battling all these demons that we've acquired as baggage from lifetime to lifetime. And much of it in this one for many people. And it's more potently obvious because it's so you actually remember it. It wasn't wiped from your memory. It's like right here. And it's manifesting. And like, we don't even recognize it when we're in these stages where we're repeating cycles. Half the time, people don't even recognize it to know to heal it, or know that they even need to heal an emotional body, or be on this spiritual path. That's what I mean by childish. Not that I want to put anyone down, because I had to do those childish things I'm still doing those things, and we do them all along. But it's really like, once you master the cycles, you feel like you've graduated and you can get into the creative space. So if you haven't mastered the cycles and you're wondering my mission hasn't showed up, that's exactly why. Because you're still distracted by your cycles. And you have to clear your mind and get into that quiet space to receive information in order to create. So if you're distracted by things, by drama, by continuously feeling those same old shitty feelings that come up over and over again, I urge you to make a different choice. Because our egos are very stubborn, and they're very, very convincing. We really, like, it's funny because every time I tackle another aspect of my ego, I'm like, wow, I can't believe how stupid I was. like, you don't realize how much you are convinced of your own bullshit. And there are levels and layers to that. Many, many layers. So just when I think I've conquered the dumbness in the cycles in me, there's always another layer of like, wow, was I really that unconscious of that? And there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's part of the journey. It means you're actually doing the work. If you're just skating on through life and you feel like, okay, I've pretty much had it all right all along, well, I'm pretty sure your growth process is like small. You gotta face the stuff. You gotta like feel yourself changing. And you will. You will. Courage is being able to say I was wrong about something. Being able to say my perception or belief system on that probably wasn't it, you know? And the funny thing is, like, one thing I've learned along this journey is like, there is no box to fit in. There's no specific religion. There's no crowd or tribe. It literally is your spirituality is your unique journey and connection to source. So say you have synchronicities. Those synchronicities are between you and your higher self and your guides or whoever or whatever you connect with, you know, and that's unique to you. So what something means spiritually for one person could mean something different for another. Everything is about intention. So it's how we start to begin after we're clearing these cycles. We begin to cultivate this connection with source, and it becomes so unique. That's why having a guru is like the dumbest thing ever. Like, it's like putting something higher than yourself, and it doesn't make any sense to me, because any good spiritual teacher points you back to yourself and is like, yo, like once you figure out your own shit is when you start to elevate into this space where you're the highest potential of the God spark, which means you are God in this unique avatar, I guess you could say. But like, we literally have this highest potential that we can come to an expansion in this lifetime, but it's not going to be able to happen unless we wake up and we start peeling back those layers and understanding ourselves more and being able to check ourselves where we're unconscious, which is like so much programming, like insane amounts of programming that we have to purge. And then we reprogram ourselves, in a sense, to the most unique, connected, highest potential of source in this avatar that we chose to come in as. So yeah, there was another thing about synchronicity I was going to mention. I get really excited about synchronicities. One day I'm going to come live on here with Lance, maybe this week, just because the kids aren't here. They're with their dad for Christmas. But you could ask him, like, I'm all about synchronicity. And the thing I love about synchronicity, and the reason I think I get so many synchronicities isn't because I'm special. I think it's because I appreciate them. Like, I literally get stupid excited and make, get funny and silly over little things. And that's what keeps synchronicity coming to me. But the reason I get so excited, because synchronicity, like, even if you just see, like, the angel numbers on a license plate, like, it is a reminder to check in with source, to check in with spirit. Because every single time I see one, I say, thank you, spirit. Like, I, show the universe appreciation. And sometimes I'll tune in and just be like, okay, what was I just thinking about? Or, it makes you tune in. It makes you connect. That's what I love about synchronicity, because it is, somebody who's just coming into spirituality, like, oh, that's like the corniest shit. Like, how is that going to help you? But it helps you in the most craziest way, because it takes that distraction you have from, like, driving in your car or whatever, and you're driving down the road thinking about picking your kids up, at their grandma's house or whatever, and all of a sudden you see a synchronicity, and it reminds you to have this conversation with spirit. So the more excited you get about those, the more conversations you're having with spirit all day, and then you find yourself in this connection that just isn't ever disconnecting. Until it does, because the contrast is needed in order for us to peel off more layers and grow. So we have to have contrast to grow. So if anybody thinks we're in this to get to this space where there's no contrast, that's not going to happen. And you shouldn't want it to happen, because the contrast, like, when you get to this point where you're like, oh, okay, like, I'm like, after you fell on your face and had enough dark nights of the soul and then pulled yourself back up, and then you're like, oh, wow, I see why that happened. It's like, it's not as scary anymore after a while, guys, face it. And then it'll be easier and easier and easier as time goes on. Right now it feels a little rough, not gonna lie. Pretty rough. Oh, was it last week? I don't know, but it's just intense. But be easy on yourselves. Really be easy on yourselves, because there's nothing that serious going on here. We're literally just here to expand and grow, and this whole matrix is an illusion in order for us to do that. So how can we milk it? How can we choose to perceive situations differently, even though they make us feel shitty? Like, I'm not going to blame anyone this time. I'm going to sit here and write down on a piece of paper 5 different positive perspectives to look at this situation. And then I'm going to embody one of them, because I can't embody the old projection and way I used to respond, because it's just going to get me the same stuff. And right now, it's feeling worse than it's ever felt to go against, WWJD, to go against what the highest source of unconditional love would do. And it wouldn't project. It wouldn't run and be a victim. It would love. And it is not easy to alchemize and embody that sometimes when you're so used to, the patterns, the perception you've always had. But everything is turning over a new leaf. The new year is coming this weekend. And even though it's not the actual new year, it's how we celebrate it here in America. And for me and a lot of the masses, it represents new beginnings. And holy crap, I wasn't even going to share this, but I just remembered it. I had this dream. It was a really long dream. And at the very end of the dream, this weird thing happened, right? So I was like in a little hospital type setting, but it wasn't really like, I don't know, it was kind of cozier. It wasn't like crazy. But anyways, this nurse came up to me and I told her, I was like, I'm just like feeling a little nauseous or whatever. She's like, well, you need to take a pregnancy test, right? This is my dream, okay? And I was like, no. Like, I have 4 kids. My tubes are tied. I just had my monthly last week. Like, I'm not pregnant. This is me in my dream. Like, I'm not taking a pregnancy test. And so the nurse, she like forced me to in my dream. And it came back like immediately. It was just like, bang, 2 lines, like you're pregnant or whatever. And so I was like, okay, what does this mean? Because I know it literally does not mean I'm pregnant. I'm not saying that's out of the possibility, but pretty much for the most part it is. But what it represents is like, me in that dream, I knew it was like, there's no way I'm pregnant. But she's trying to tell me that I am, right? It's something coming that's a surprise. Now, I don't know if that's in my individual life or on a mass, but I had that dream and Spirit told me something that's a surprise is coming. Well, we already got the house, so that wouldn't be a surprise. And we knew we've been looking for 2 years. So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there real quick at the end of this video. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. And if there's anything you guys want me to make a video about in the next couple days, I don't have my kids. They're with family right now. So I'll be able to come on. So if you guys give me ideas or spark my mind on specific topics, then I'll be more apt to come on and do one, or maybe even a live with Lance. So, or by myself. But I love you guys, and just hang in there and try not to keep making the same old damn choices, because that's what's getting people right now. They really are stubborn, really stubborn in their not wanting to change, not wanting to see it differently, you know. It's not always the other person. Sometimes you gotta lighten up a little about life, right? So, but anyways, all right. I love you guys, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.